has citizens only under the 14th Amendment and have no constitutional rights. And the other one is the right to contract. With the right to contract, they dangle bait from the Federal District of Columbia, such as Social Security, which says, since you're irresponsible and can't save $110 every month and invest it in any kind of an interest-bearing investment, we will take that money from you if you choose to participate in this program, and we will keep it in a trust account, and when you grow old, we will give you money that will take care of you in your old age, so you will not be a burden on society. The public fell for this, because in their hearts they knew that if they took $110 every month and saved it in any kind of an interest-bearing account, even the lowest, by the time they retired, they'd be so wealthy it'd be beyond their wildest dreams. But they knew they wouldn't do it. They knew they'd spend the money, so they joined the Social Security program. And now they can't even buy dog food with what they get. But even more important, by contracting with that federal government to receive that benefit, they then became 14th Amendment citizens of the Federal District of Columbia and gave up their constitutional rights. And that's the downfall. Anytime you accept something from Daddy, you have to give something in return. How many of you ever went home after you had left home and come of age and left home? How many of you have done that? Quite a few. What happened when you went home? If Daddy said be in by midnight, you had to be in by midnight, didn't you? Even though you were 26 or 28 or 30 or however old you were. If Daddy said, listen, your mother fixes dinner at 6 o'clock, you better be sitting at this table at 6 o'clock, or you can go find someplace else to live, then you better be sitting at the table at 6 o'clock, right? This is called socialism, folks. Free people have to be responsible for themselves. And freedom requires work and risk, effort, and sometimes you're playing with the odds. And each man gets according to what they build themselves. If they can build an empire, they're entitled to it. If they can't, they're not. Socialism is this: I can't take care of myself. I can't handle this freedom. I'm irresponsible, and there is no God, so I know I'm going to die, and somebody must protect me. Somebody's got to feed me and guarantee me a job. And if I get sick, they got to take care of me. Most people spend the first 21 years of their life trying to become an adult. Once they get to that age and become an adult and become responsible legally and morally, they look around at the world and they see how tough it is, and they spend the rest of their life trying to climb back into the womb. Trying to find somebody or something that will protect them from the world. And that is the downfall of this country. When you go home to Daddy, you have to give up your freedom. So when you ask the federal government for benefits and you contract with them and give up your constitutional rights and your state citizenship to become a 14th Amendment citizen of the Federal District of Columbia, you have given up your freedom. And that's why they're able to do so many unconstitutional things and pass so many unconstitutional laws, is because there aren't any constitutional citizens left in the country. Yes, sir?
Are you talking about the difference between an equity citizen and a sovereign citizen?
That's absolutely correct. It requires a lot of work, but it can be done. But that's not the subject of this lecture. What I'm trying to do is let you know where we went wrong, tell you how it happened and what's coming in the future. And now, if you'll pick up your dollar bill, we'll get into that. If you look at the obverse, you see the eagle. Now, the first design of the Great Seal of the United States didn't have an eagle. It had the phoenix bird. The phoenix is the symbol of the sun. The phoenix is also the symbol of the New World Order rising out of the ashes of the old. It's symbolized by the number 13, which is the number of sacrifice, or death, and rebirth. It took me 20 years to learn the symbolism of the mystery schools and be able to decipher this and understand it. 13 is considered to be an unlucky number because 13 is connected with the fall of Lucifer. And if you go to that chapter in the Bible that describes it, you'll see right there what I'm talking about. They thought that if they put the phoenix on the Great Seal, the public would quickly figure out what this was all about. So they substituted it with an eagle, which also, in the mystery schools and in the ancient philosophy, is the symbol of the sun. It's also the symbol of wisdom and the light. Because the eagle in the ancient mysteries was supposed to be the wisest bird because he had figured out how to fly higher than any other bird in the sky and was able to look directly into the sun and thus gain knowledge. Now, if you begin to look on here, you'll see on the escutcheon, which is the shield, that there are 13 bars and 13 stripes. You'll see in the left talon there's 13 arrows. In the right talon there's an olive branch with 13 leaves and 13 olives. If you look at E pluribus unum, how many letters are there? 13. If you look at the glory above the eagle's head, you'll see what's normally called the Star of David, but it's not. And it's not Solomon's seal. Solomon never used it as a seal. But you'll see 13 pentagrams making up what's commonly known as the Star of David. Okay? What is this number 13 doing all over our seal if it's an unlucky number? Because the 13th day of the month was the day that the Pope and the King of France rounded up the Knights Templar and imprisoned them, literally within a 24-hour period. If you want to know the symbolism of the 22nd of November 1963, the 22nd day of the month was the day that the leaders of the Knights Templar were burned at the stake. The revenge of the secret societies upon the Catholic Church when John F. Kennedy was murdered. If you count the feathers in one wing on the eagle, you'll see 32 feathers. If you count the feathers in the other wing, there's 33. 32 is the highest degree in the Freemason, Scottish Rite, Knights Templar branch of Freemasonry. The 33rd degree is the honorary degree and is the first step on what's known as Jacob's Ladder. And the degrees above the 33rd are behind the veil, where they do the work out of the eye of the public toward the completion of the great work, the formation of the New World Order, the deification of man. And when they reach the top, the ceiling of the temple, as it's called, the 7 stars, they become a star. And those are the 1,000 points of light. And if you get the book called The Best of Life from last year, where they published the best pictures in Life magazine, get that book, you'll see George Bush lying in bed on his birthday holding the pyramid with the all-seeing eye. And that photograph was picked by him to be published to notify the world that he is the president who will complete the great work and place the cap on the pyramid. He is also the first world leader since Hitler who has mentioned the words New World Order. He is also a member of the Skull and Bones, also known as the Brotherhood of Death, the sister society to the Thule Society in Germany, to which Hitler and his general staff and his SS officers belong. George Bush's father helped finance Hitler's rise to power. George Bush is the worst thing that's ever happened to this country. And when you say he doesn't have a domestic program, it's because he doesn't give a damn about a domestic program. He's working for the completion of the great work, which is the formation of the one world government known in the mystery schools as the New World Order. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. And they don't mean out of many states, one country. They mean out of many 1,000 points of light working behind the veil for the completion of the great work will come the one world government. You can see the tail feathers, if you count them, there's 9. Those stand for the 9 hidden supervisors. the real rulers of the secret societies of the world. Benjamin Franklin was the Grand Master of the Lodge of the Nine Muses.